Hey guys, it's Anime and Nose with another topic to discuss. And today I wanted to discuss holidays and eating disorders. So the holidays are upon us. Thanksgiving since passed, and what could be more fun to someone with an eating disorder than sitting at a table surrounded by family, friends, and tons of food? This thought alone is terrifying because basically you're trapped at a table having to eat when you want to be doing other things like exercising or not eating, or preferably for those who purge, getting it out of you after eating it. So, this past Thanksgiving, I was probably, well, it wasn't really my first time with an eating disorder having to eat, big meal with the family. And it was very like nerve wracking because for me, I'm at the table, I have my plate filled, I didn't put like gravy or anything on my food. I avoided some things, but then I kind of felt like I was eating too much. And then ultimately, after having to eat an entire plate, I get very emotional and just kind of like out of my head. It gets to the point where I'm just so uncomfortable with the fact that I am very full that I'm bursting into tears and just having a meltdown. Like, I just don't want to get it out of me. I don't know how, and I'm just having a complete breakdown. Breakdown is basically the word I would use, where I'm just to tears and I don't know what to do. This happens a lot after I eat big meals because I don't like feeling full. I like feeling empty. To me, feeling empty is a sense of accomplishment, but it's not a healthy thing to feel. If you're hungry, you should eat, and it's good to feel full because that means that your body has nourishment. So, a few of the things that I did this year was kind of get my mindset back on the fact that it's one day. We're not going to be eating like this for, a whole week. And I exercise that morning for the allotment of time that I am allowed. And most of my plate was just vegetables and protein. And it's not like, we were having, yams with like marshmallows and sugar all in it. It was nothing like that. It was good food that provides nourishment for your body and keeps you healthy. And I'm not saying that if you are those people who had the yams with the marshmallows and sugar, like that's a good thing to eat too. I mean, it's not like you're eating it every day. It's one day out of the entire year where you get to kind of splurge on food that is supposedly, good food that, you haven't had all year that you can eat and that it's okay. And I guess kind of wrapping my mind around the fact that, yeah, it's okay to feel full and on holidays, it's okay to overeat. I mean, when I'm saying overeat, I'm not meaning it in like binge terms of overeating, which I've tended to do, where you're eating like massive amounts of, for me, when I binge, it's usually like sweets and just like crap. It's just crap. Or I'll just eat like, a whole sleeve of something and, that's not healthy. But it's, the one day where everyone kind of overeats and eats what they like. And then, if you think about it, like that whole day, I maybe ate breakfast and then we had our meal. And then I didn't even have another meal until like later on. We did dessert. So, really, that whole day, you're just eating what would be your normal amount of calories, if not less, for that day. I mean, I don't know how it sets up for other people, but for me, our family, we eat breakfast, then we have our big meal at around 12, 1 o'clock, and then around 4 o'clock, we'll have dessert. And then normally we don't do dinner or anything later on. It's just kind of like, on your own in terms of food. And then normally the next day, we'll usually get rid of all the leftovers. Usually within a 2 to 3 day span, we get rid of all the leftovers. So, I mean, that can be kind of terrifying because, like, you're eating the same stuff the very next day. But you have to wrap your head around the fact that, it's one day of food. Once the food's gone, it's gone. It's not like you're going to have to be forced to eat it again. Well, unless you're thinking towards the future of Christmas and having to eat that, or Hanukkah, whatever, holiday you celebrate. Um, but it's really hard because like the whole time you're just thinking I'm gonna get fat. I found myself the next day like looking in the mirror, pinching like my hips and my stomach and my waist and looking at my legs, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm having all these thoughts about like cellulite and it's very uncomfortable, but the more that you sit with those uncomfortable feelings and not act upon them by either starving yourself, purging, binging, over exercising, the easier it is to kind of deal with it. Because even though after our Thanksgiving meal, I went upstairs and I had like a breakdown, I was just like, okay, you know, I can cry, I can do what I need to do, but I'm gonna have to sit with the feeling, and that's just how it's going to be. And I just kept thinking, this is nourishment for my body. It's not a bad thing. This is, good. I'm eating good food. I'm, food aside, you're with people that you love and that you want to spend time with. And that really ultimately helped me, because when I got back downstairs, instead of my usual obsessing over I'm gonna have to eat dessert, it was just we watched a movie and we spent time with each other, and it wasn't even about food. It was just about spending time with each other and just enjoying the day. It wasn't until later when we're just about to sit down to eat dessert that I started thinking about food. And that kind of distraction is a really good thing. So that's one thing that I stress, like for me personally, is to have the distractions after eating or before eating, so that when you are sitting down to eat, it's just about kind of getting through it. And, a lot of people think that people with eating disorders, especially like me, I had the mindset of thinking I'm weak, but really, we are really strong people, because having to face those fears of food and getting fat and exercise and just all of that, like, that takes a lot of strength to kind of deal with and tolerate. So don't give up. Recovery has its ups and downs, and just know it's okay to eat. Everyone eats. Everyone overeats on holidays, and it's okay. Just tolerate the feeling and it will pass. It's very difficult, but once you make it through, just tolerating all of those feelings of disgust and self-loathing and like just hating, you feel that much more stronger. Like for me, I feel stronger as a person because like I did it and I'm okay.